What's up YouTube? It's B the Installer. I am here today to give you a practical review of the Samsung Q90T. This is a 75-inch model behind me, and I'm excited to finally be able to get a close-up look at this Q90T and give you my thoughts on this TV and kind of compare it to the pros and cons of the LG LX and also the Sony A8H. So all three of those TVs I've seen now in person. I've installed all three of them. And at the end, I'm gonna give you a couple pros and cons so I can help you differentiate if you should buy this TV or not. So let's get into it. Make sure to pound the like button and definitely subscribe if you aren't already a subscriber. Ring the bell to be notified for all the new videos. I am going to compare OLEDs versus QLEDs, as well as a video on all the different Sonos soundbars. So a lot of exciting things coming out, but you won't know that I upload the videos unless you ring the bell and set it to all. So first thing when unboxing the TV I noticed was the TV has a great build quality. I've always been a big fan of the Samsung build quality. The TV's always very strong looking, very solid. However, the stand not so much. The stand is a little wobbly. It was easier to put on than the LG CX stand, but it is a little wobbly if you're gonna have it on the stand, so be warned of that ahead of time. It wobbles kind of forward and backwards, and it probably could be a tipping hazard. The LG CX has a very solid base, and the TV is much lower to the surface, whereas this Samsung is up a little higher off the ground. So enough about that wobbly stand. We just decided to mount the TV on the wall and get past all that, and now that gives me an opportunity to kind of show you the different connections and specs of this TV. So besides the typical Ethernet port, USB ports, optical output, all those different things. It does have 4 HDMIs. It does have HDMI 2.1 connectivity, and it has eARC. Now, I'm a little confused on which HDMI is which because one of the HDMI ports says game and one of the HDMI says eARC. So I would assume that that one that says game is the HDMI 2.1 that can do 4K at 120 Hertz, but I'm not sure. And definitely am confident that the one that says eARC is the one that can get you Dolby Atmos. But enough about those specifications. Let's get the TV on and see how cool it looks. So right as I turn it on, I realize that this TV is obviously much brighter than a lot of the other TVs. It has fantastic brightness, and it really makes the colors pop, especially when you watch HDR content. It is really bright and beautiful. It does have an additional anti-reflective coating, which doubles in giving you more contrast than typical LED TVs. It's not as perfect as an OLED with the infinite blacks, but it is pretty advanced and I like it quite a bit. When you're watching it straight on, it does knock down quite a bit of glare, and I'm gonna get into that anti-reflective coating a little bit more in a minute. We all know that the Samsung and the LG and the Sonys, the high-end TVs are very good picture quality, and you can debate the different technicalities of those. You can decide on which one of those TVs has pros and cons that are best for you, whether it be gaming, whether it be brightness, whether it be that anti-reflective coating, or if you're at a nighttime experience, the deep blacks that the OLEDs can give you. But there are some things that are a little more practical to understand and things that I have noticed over the years with the different models. One thing is the ease of use of the OS or the software on it, and the other is the remote. Let me show you what I mean by the ease of use. So on this remote, it does just have a main home button where you can go left, right, up, down, and it's very easy to get into all the different apps. I really like the smart TV on this Samsung, very quick to move around and navigate. And then also, when you get into the settings themselves, it's got a lot less settings that you really have to go through. For people that are real technical and want to have specifics that they can tinker around with, the LG may have a little bit more for you there, where it's got a million different settings and it's almost confusing, to be honest. So a little bit easier. It's also easier to get into the different sound outputs. When you connect the HDMI to the ARC and connect the soundbar, it just snaps right into place. With the LG, you kind of have to move things around. I did have to go in my LG menu and go and choose HDMI ARC to turn off it, and it didn't just connect right away. Now it does connect, of course, once I've done that, but the Samsung is very quick to recognize if you have the ARC in or out, or if you're going to just use the TV speakers. So I have to tell you that the Samsung ease of use on the menu and all these different screens, as well as the smart TV, is hands down better than the LG or the Sony in my opinion. And then one of the things that really separates the TVs for me, and it's kind of funny, but it's the remote. This Samsung remote is fantastic. It's a Bluetooth remote. It doesn't have so many buttons to overwhelm you with it. It doesn't have a little point and shoot kind of action that annoys your dog, like my dog always jumps at the screen. But it just has a very easy up, down, left, right, enter, back button, home button. The volume and the channel buttons are just very easy to push up and down. It does also have the Netflix, Prime Video, and Samsung Plus buttons on the bottom for quick access to those things. It does have ambient mode as well, so you can quickly turn it into your favorite art. You can download art off the internet. You can upload your own. So it's pretty cool. I definitely like that. So yes, all things considered, the remote is obviously the most important thing about a TV, right? No, I'm just kidding. But if all things are the same, I just want to let people know that if they're having a hard time, things like the remote or ease of use of the TV out of the box are things to consider. And if you're a fan of one brand or the other, this may just be the thing that puts it over the edge. That's some of the positive information that may help you decide to buy this TV over another. Let's get into a couple of things that I hear online and some of them that I see from these TVs. So one of the first things that people talk about, and there are some complaints about Samsung, is the dirty screen effect, or just the screen uniformity, where because it's backlit with LEDs instead of having individually lit pixels, some of the areas on the TV display a little bit lighter or a little bit darker. And around the edges, you can see sometimes on these TVs that it's a little darker around the edges. And it may not be something that you really notice in real world applications, but it is something that's out there that people talk about. One of the other things that does confuse me a little bit is the anti-reflective coating that they have on these TVs. So as I said before, it does seem to knock down some of the reflectiveness when you're watching it straight on. But when you have it at a little bit of an angle, or if you have one problem light, like this light that I have here, if it's on the screen, it kind of makes it go across the whole screen. So it can kind of stretch a problem light and make it a problem across your whole screen, as opposed to just having that one problem light be in one small part of the area on an OLED or a different reflective screen. So I'm wondering a little bit if Samsung went a little too far with this anti-reflective screen, and I'm wondering if now they kind of have this desire to have a very shiny screen, but then knock down some of that reflectivity, and if it causes more of a problem, then it actually helps. But the good thing about that is the brightness of the TV can be set that it really can push through that light, so not always a huge concern, but again, I have noticed when I've looked at these screens that they do really expand some of those lights across the screen. And some people online have complained, as you can see here on the Samsung website itself, we have a person that uploaded a bunch of images and they were pretty frustrated with that. And so overall, this screen looks fantastic behind me. I will say that it is not quite as clear as the OLED. So the OLEDs, the pixels light individually, so they're black or they're lit. And with Samsung, they have a backlight of LEDs. So you don't always get perfect blacks, and you do have some bleeding, especially when you have light next to dark or you have subtitles and things like that. You can really notice how the pixels kind of bleed into the other areas. Now, when you're backed up and you're watching this, if you're watching a movie at night, it's not gonna be as noticeable as you'd think. So don't worry too much about it. I think all things considered, this Samsung Q90T is fantastic. But when you get up close and you look, you do see a little bit of pixelization. You get a little bit of choppiness when objects are moving across the screen, and it's not quite as tack sharp as the OLED. I don't know if you call this a con, but this TV, like the LG OLED and the Sony OLED, really can shine with HDR content. But sometimes it kind of makes the struggle of 1080p content look even worse. So if you have a nice big bright TV and then you flip it over to non-HD content, it can kind of be a bummer when you don't get that crisp, clear picture. So I'm not sure if you can see, but when you get into some of the streaming content that is just normal standard definition, I mean, it's almost unwatchable. And it's the same on the LG as well. It's just that when you have a really nice TV and you get used to having that amazing 4K and especially the HDR content, Dolby Vision, HDR10+, then it starts to make you kind of wonder, what to watch if you get stuff like this. So be warned, like I say, with all of these nice TVs, you're buying a high quality product, so when you run a source to it that's not very good, it's going to look like this and it's not going to be quite as enjoyable. This Samsung Q90T was at the top of my list for purchasing a TV this year. I battled for a long time between getting the LG CX and this Q90T. And I have to say, it's very difficult to make that decision. To summarize some of its great features, it does have fantastic brightness. The contrast is improved with the anti-reflective coating. It does have a really good ease of use. I love the remote. I love the Samsung OS and just the way they put these TVs together. You definitely don't have to worry about burn-in with the Samsung either. I'm not sure if the picture quality is quite as good as the OLED from LG or Sony, but that's for another day. So let me know what you think below. Are you gonna get this TV or are you gonna stick with an OLED? And definitely let me know if you have any questions, as I've seen all three of the top of the line 4K TVs from these three brands. All right, I hope you guys have found this useful. Smash the like button if it has been. Subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of all the new uploads. And just remember, with my help, you can be the installer.